It was about 25 years ago that we started the Pastel business, around about 1989. And we currently have around about 200,000 businesses using our software. So it was with great excitement about 4 years ago that we launched our cloud accounting version called Pastel My Business Online. And for me personally, there were two major reasons why I was looking so forward to this event. First of all, the cloud presents a whole lot of new opportunities to people running their software. It gives them greater freedom. They're not office-bound. Mobility, iPads, Android devices, all come into the ecosystem of accounting software. The other reason is that it gave Pastel an opportunity to rewrite their software from scratch. So at that time, we had been in business for 20 years, and having the opportunity to rewrite your software, you can take all the experiences that you've gained over the last 20 years and bring it to bear in a whole new fresh version of the software. So as a developer today, first of all, the tools have really improved since 20 years ago. Today, it's so easy to do stuff that's very user-friendly, graphs, pictures, just the way that the software is designed. We've also got a whole new bunch of developers that are, let's say, 20, 25, 30 years old, and they kind of experience software in a different way. So they're very tuned into what's easy to use and what's fun to use. And then you've got the traditional people in the business, bringing about, what needs to be done. But I think we've been able to come with some solution that is quite unique in that as a non-accountant, you would look at the stuff and find it quite easy to find your way around. When we launched the business 25 years ago, it was all right at that point in time to say, you need a bookkeeper to run the software. Today, however, new people starting businesses would probably turn around and say, well, your software is too difficult to use if I have to have an accounting degree or a bookkeeper to use it. And I think we've really achieved this balance with My Business Online. It's very intuitive. And being on the cloud, just also, you can pop features in without the user getting a disk and having to install it and go through the traumatic experience of upgrading their software. So it's just like internet banking. You're logging one day and all of a sudden you see new stuff. And we're taking user kind of responses all the time. So what do you think should be in the software? How could we do this better? And even that over the cloud is a whole different story. You could log in tomorrow and we pop up a message, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. A couple of weeks later, all of a sudden it's there. And I think that you get much more intimate with your user. You're always in communication. Very different to the days where somebody would buy a disk, install it on a PC, and basically wouldn't talk to you for another 10 years until they wanted to upgrade. So it's a much more vibrant, intimate kind of solution. And not only intimate between ourselves and our users, but even between our users and their customers, because you can do stuff like get customers to log into their site in your accounting software, see all their invoices and statements, send messages to accountants backwards and forwards. And we just found that this is like really the new realm of accounting software. So there's the ease of use stuff that I'm talking about, and then there's the fact that it's delivered over the cloud, which quite obviously to people reading the magazine should be aware that being on the cloud just presents a whole lot of opportunities that couldn't exist before when your software and your data is really locked down to the desktop. In South Africa, it was quite slow to start. Today we have about 18,000 businesses using our cloud solution, and you're always looking for that tipping point that Malcolm Gladwell spoke about. And I think that we reached that about 4 or 5 months ago, where the product is kind of gaining its own momentum. And we're getting so many people saying they love the experience. You get a couple who say they still find it difficult, and we're bringing out a release on Monday, which is having a whole new way of finding your way around the product, which is going to tune into those users. But we're now selling around about 600 new units a month. And we found that everybody's kind of tuned into the way the software works and the way it's sold. So I think we're well on our way. Yeah, one could say that South Africa's a couple of years behind, let's say America, because bandwidth's more expensive and the internet's quicker over there. But I think that we're finally getting our act together in this country, that most people are on the internet. You can see that bandwidth prices have come down tremendously. The product, by the way, is very bandwidth unintensive. So from a cost perspective, if you've got like a 2 gig line, you'll find that this thing only charges maybe 1% of that over a month. So it's not even anything to really be worried about. And I really encourage you to sign up. There's a free 30-day trial. Check it out, play around, and then make your decision. But I think the days are very different from in the 80s or 90s where accounting software just really rested in the domain of the bookkeeping department. Now you've got your salespeople involved, your suppliers, your customers, people on the road, obviously the traditional financial people. But software is now shared throughout the organization, and hence the cloud is such a brilliant way to distribute that software.